final hello and welcome from me regarding this series to all of you here on my YouTube channel. Today I will talk about 30 songs that have participated in Eurovision for United Kingdom between the years 1993 and 2022. As you can tell, they've been a constant competitor between these years. Some good, some not so good. I'm sure everyone is already quite aware of that. United Kingdom doesn't really have a great reputation in Eurovision, but that hasn't always been the case. I'm sure many of you know that as well. I will try and express my thoughts and opinions on these 30 songs today, and I will try to not take an hour doing so. And by actually accomplishing that, I will start right away with Better the Devil You Know from 1993. Of course, a runner-up for United Kingdom. Very good result. Very good performance. Energetic song. Really like the whole instrumental tone of it. I like the energy and the constant drive that it has. It's a very uplifting song. Kind of always gets me going. I don't know. It's just one of these songs that's really easy to just tag along to. It's so inviting and heartwarming, and also very charming in both performance and in sound presentation, I guess you'd say. The chorus is catchy, great melody to it, very uplifting hook and uplifting backing track altogether as well. I think I would want to put this in the fantastic category. I think it's a really strong effort from United Kingdom. A real standout in their catalog, among many others, of course. 1994 is also quite nice. I think, I don't remember the song is called, but it's also like within parentheses, it's called We Will Be Free, I think. Memorable chorus, which is really like bright and hollow in the vocal delivery, but the verses I think are the standouts here. Very mysterious, like the bass line a lot in these parts. Quite well performed. Just a really charming and kind of alluring song, I think. Really inviting, really sets its own tone. It stands out among competition, and then the chorus is quite memorable. I like the incorporation of the backing vocals. It's a very nice vocal arrangement throughout this song. And also just nice backing track to it as well. Like the use of strings throughout. The bass walk, as I said, is really nice, especially in the verses. It's just a nice little package. The first time I heard it, I was kind of a bit torn, I guess, because the chorus felt a bit out of place. But once you've kind of grown accustomed to that, I think it really just clicks very nicely. Really great effort, this one. Really enjoyable. Love City Groove is, of course, also really enjoyable. This one, I'm sure, divides opinions, but I just love how charming it is. It's so entertaining. The rapping, I think, is quite great, in all honesty. I'm not a rap expert, so I don't know much about flow or anything, but to me, it sounds pretty great. And I like the way they perform it. It's with a lot of warmth, a lot of kind of attitude and charisma, and it just really works. Like the stage layout, like the choreography, like everything about it. Backing track, very addictive beat, I think. It's uplifting, it's energetic, really has a great bounce to it. There's nice bass work in the back, nice drumming. Just the backing track really works. It's a very, I can't really call it a fresh production anymore because of course it's not. But considering this is 27 years ago, it's a fresh production 27 years ago, I guess. It's just very iconic for its own time, which I think is even more charming. And I think the hook of this song is really, really catchy. It's very memorable. It's actually quite well sung, very well performed as well, of course. It's just charming. I get happy listening and watching it. It's just 3 minutes of joy for me. I think it's really, really great. And actually a standout in such a tough year as 95. This just fits so perfectly in it because it needs some... Like 1995 is so strong quality-wise, that you need something like this in there as well, and I really enjoy it. 96, Ooh Ah a Little Bit, of course, also really great. Just such a iconic Euro disco track from the 90s. Love the synth work. It's very kind of chaotic all the way throughout. The drum machine goes just heavy, it goes all in. The synth work is very kind of over the top, but it's all just a complete package of all of this craziness and energy and excitement, all put into one little package here. It's 3 minutes of just constant energy being delivered through the screen and through your speakers. Solid performance to it, quite well sung, very memorable, of course, and very catchy, and just kind of have to like aspects of it, regardless if you think the song might be annoying or whatnot. I think it's just really captivating, I guess. I get dragged into this one as well. Love Shine a Light, of course. As you can see, like, United Kingdom in the 90s, wow. Yeah, Love Shine a Light, fantastic. Just this kind of anthem tone to the song that's really captivating. Great instrumentation, wonderful vocal performance. Chorus is really, at the same time, both quite dramatic in a melodramatic way, also quite hopeful. There's like a nice dynamic and combination of different styles that all just work in harmony together to really create a great presentation and really reach through the screen, I think. Great vocal performance, great stage layout. Of course, it's the 97 stage, so it's an automatic win in that case. Nice instrumentation, very well written song. The structure is great, and the vocal performance is also great. Everything's just awesome about it. Really hard hitting one. And then we have Where Are You, which I think is the United Kingdom's standout from, well, many years. I don't know if we'll get to any songs that I prefer over it. Today I haven't really thought about it, but Where Are You is among the greatest for me. Just love the instrumentation of this song. Like, the instrumental has such an, like, what do you call it, like a characteristic sound to it. It's mysterious, dark, suspenseful with the synth work. The drum machine sounds really polished still today. Love the little hints of piano in here. It's a very it has a great identity to the actual sound design that this song is going for. It chorus is memorable. I really think the melody is quite catchy. Love the incorporation of the backing vocals. I like the kind of coloring on stage to kind of match the vibe of the song. Really works effectively. Memorable vocal arrangement, just quite playful in that case as well. Verses are strong, chorus is even stronger. I just love the flow of it. Structure of the song works fantastic. Like the dramatic ending of the song as well, how it kind of drags out. It's just really effective. I think everything works perfectly in this song, and it's one of my absolute favorites for sure. So yeah, just have to be at the top. In 1999, Say It Again. I mean, 99 isn't really my type of year. I think Say It Again is alright. Just kind of alright. It doesn't stand out too much. Maybe I would dislike it more if it was from another year, because it's just not really my type of music, but I think it's fine. Solid vocal arrangement. It's not really a memorable song in my opinion. I think it kind of just goes by and then you've kind of forgotten about it. But it's a charming little hook to it. I think the performance kind of elevates it a little bit, how all of these vocalists are incorporated together. Just kind of works as a concept, but the song isn't really too interesting for me, and I don't think there's much to really write home about with it. But it's okay. I think it's quite harmless, and I don't have anything against it, so yeah. 2000, if I see correctly, this is Don't Play That Song Again, and that's exactly my thoughts about this song, because this is not for me. Kind of an annoying hook. Don't really like the whole joyous atmosphere of it. It doesn't really know what it wants to be, because it adds like these kind of interesting chord intervals within like halfway through the chorus, which are kind of interesting, and then it just kind of goes back into this super joyous ending to the chorus, which is just such a great mismatch. I don't really get dragged along into it. I think I get more confused more than I enjoy things going on in this song. Just don't really get anything from it. Someone has had an idea with the performance to make it really charming and whatnot, but it doesn't connect through the screen for me. And I think the song is quite stale. And at the small amount of times that it does interest me, it kind of just makes me frustrated instead, because it takes turns back into where I don't want it to go. So that's a me problem, but yeah, the song is just not for me. Simple. 2001 is absolutely not for me either. No Dream Impossible, I think this song is called. Quite a stale, monotonous hook to it. Don't like the rapping inputs that this song have. Kind of just, something's off about the whole attitude and presentation of this. I don't really care for it that much. I don't like how she's standing with her hands in her pockets and just kind of head nods throughout the whole song when she's singing it. It's super off-putting, and it doesn't really distribute any kind of emotional attachment for me to whatever this song tries to be. I think the message is supposed to be kind of encouraging, which I don't get anything out of. So yeah, no, not for me. The drum machine sounds quite poor as well. I think the beat is incredibly kind of annoying. It's very monotonous, repetitive. Yeah, just nothing here. Good thing that United Kingdom came back with Comeback, I think it's called. This is a beautiful kind of pop ballad. I love the incorporation of the backing vocalists. The vocal performance is insane. Like the playfulness of the rhythms, especially in the chorus. I think the verses flow really nicely and lead incredibly well into the chorus. I love the structure and the flow of this song. And I mean, the little pauses and playfulness in the chorus is just such a brilliant idea to really incorporate into the song. It adds so much character to it. And I think it just makes the song work fantastically well. So it's a fantastic entry. And it's actually my favorite entry from the year 2002. If that's saying much, I guess that's up to you to decide. But it absolutely is my favorite song from 2002, I gotta say. I think everything just clicks here. And I love the playfulness of it. So yeah, nice one. Should we just move on? Crybaby is horrendous. The vocal performances are awful. The choreography is horrendous. Everything is just kind of abysmal about this. Don't know whose idea it was. Don't know who kind of greenlighted it. What I will say is that I think the kind of backing track has something in it. There's like this kind of exotic tone to it that's a bit charming, and I like the guitar work in it. The guitar work is actually not that bad. And I think the instrumental, like, there's something in the beat that could have made for a more interesting song. The chorus is just not really good. It's a repetitive hook, which doesn't really have an interesting melody at all. And it's not sung very convincingly or well, for that matter. And the choreography just kind of makes it even worse. It's just such a mismatch of everything. They've had an idea, and then they didn't really know what to do with it, and whoever was put in charge, yeah, I don't know if that person should be put in charge of staging performances or really just creating presentations of anything. Yeah, that's what happened here. You see, me with song titles, I'm not really sure, but here we have Hold On to Our Love Tonight or something. That's what he sings. Playfulness in the chorus is a plus, great vocal performance, charming little stage layout. It's just really great. Not too interesting in any way, really, I think. But it's a charming little song. It goes on for 3 minutes. It's cute, it's friendly, it's harmless, and it's kind of catchy. And I like the playfulness of the chorus with the rhythm switches and stuff. And it's also quite a nice, pleasant tone throughout the song that really kind of maintains as a constant throughout. So I think it's actually great. Yeah, it's great. Touch My Fire, I think, is solid. Catchy hook, great instrumental, like the exotic and kind of tropical vibes to it, or tropical, I don't know, but like these really ethnic vibes to it. That there's tone in this song which is kind of suggestive, while also adding some mystery, and just the instrumentation during these parts is kind of great. Chorus is memorable as well. Don't really care for the verses, and I think the structure is a bit flawed. But, you know, everything that just kind of comes together here, I enjoy it for what it is for the 3 minutes, but it's not something I really set out to listen to again or would recommend people to really go out of their way to check out. But it's solid. I mean, the 3 minutes, it's not 3 minutes I wasted, but it's not really 3 minutes that I need to repeat. So, yeah, simple as that. Now here comes a tricky one for me. Teenage Life. It's just so absurd, isn't it? I think this song is incredibly catchy and, to a point, incredibly charming. It's just that it's so dumb at the same time. I mean, this category is like the only one that I can really put it in based on the description of it, because this is not fantastic, it's not among the greatest, it's not really great, it's not even solid, but it absolutely is for me. What happened here, I mean, I guess I could put it there, but I do like this. There's just something charming about it, and I think in all of its absurdity, I don't know. It's just also so fascinating to me. The whole concept of the song, I think the chorus is incredibly catchy in all of the worst ways possible, maybe. The rapping isn't really that bad. I don't know if people just say the rapping is bad, but I kind of like it. I think it's kind of has a nice little drive to it. The beat is bouncy. It sounds good, and the chorus just really works with that bouncy tone that it really has. It's just, I guess, the concept is so off-putting with this grown man and women dressed in schoolgirl uniform. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit, I'm a bit confused and a bit put off by it, but also quite fascinated by just everything that goes on here. And I do think it's catchy and charming in a way that I can't really explain. So I'll keep it there. It will not get company from Flying the Flag, because Flying the Flag is one of the worst things I've ever heard. Incredibly obnoxious, awful performance. I do not want something to suck on for lunch, thank you. And it's just horrendous. I hate everything about this. I guess you could say that it's an ambitious performance. I mean, they've absolutely gone all in for the flight attendant thing. They've got all of the European flags on their stage props. It's just that the song that they have is, it's not a good song. It's not very interesting melodically or arrangement-wise. I think the beat sounds very kind of plastic, doesn't really offer anything. The dynamics are nowhere to be found in this song. The constant da 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 are just repetitive. The Flying the Flag chorus is, I guess there's a melody in there that can stick to your head, but at the same time I don't think it does anything interesting. Chords are very basic. There's just nothing. There's nothing. And the presentation of it makes it worse. So yeah. Even if I think this one is solid, it's catchy, it's charming, very harmless, and very inviting. I think he's a fantastic performer. The song just isn't quite there to really get him to get his best opportunity at presenting it. I don't remember his name, I'm sorry, but I think he's a great performer. Like the funkiness of it. It's a very upbeat song that kind of makes me happy, but I just can't put it any higher. I don't think the song is interesting enough to really make me do that. Chorus isn't that catchy per se. I think more just the catchiness of it is like the impression that you get dragged into the performance, and you kind of just get dragged into the backing track, because I think the backing track might be the catchy part. Maybe melodically it would have needed something else. I don't know. Also like the guitar work in it. The bass work is fantastic, and he's also really, really great. So I'll put it in solid, but it's a strong solid, if that counts for anything. It's my time. I think this, the Andrew Lloyd Webber points definitely shone through here. I would never consider this to be worthy of winning Eurovision, because I don't think this ballad is interesting enough. But that is where we agree to disagree, I guess. But I still think it's really great. The instrumentation is very strong in this song. The vocal performance is fantastic. The song just doesn't really have enough of interesting aspects melodically, or maybe even arrangement-wise. At least I think instrumentally, it's just very grand in this orchestration, but it doesn't really offer that many dynamics or anything. It feels very standardized within this kind of classical power ballad in terms of its instrumental. And the vocals are just kind of being allowed to shine throughout the song. That's kind of the main purpose of it. Not really a super big fan of the structure. I think melodically the song is lacking. It's not a melody that I really care for. And yeah, the song just doesn't really have these moments where I really feel like, oh, I'm getting dragged into this song now. It more feels like a kind of a show-off highlight reel, which isn't really my cup of tea, I guess. But still, really great. 2010, that sounds good to me. It does not sound good to me, I'm sorry, but this is just not for me. Don't really know what's going on in the performance. It's odd. The song has a melody which I do not really care for. It's uplifting. It tries to be uplifting and it tries to be charming and harmless, and it is harmless. It's just not charming, and it's not catchy, and it's just not for me. I think it's very uninteresting. It's quite lackluster for being like an upbeat pop song, and there's really nothing to it that I actually enjoy. So no, nope. Blue I Can. I don't know what everyone out there thinks about this, but I absolutely love it. I think this is a fantastic effort from the United Kingdom. I would have loved to see more songs like this in Eurovision. Like, I guess you shouldn't really just kind of highlight, oh, we need more boy bands in Eurovision, because I don't think that's really the case. But the song here just has so much drive to it. I love the whole the powerful anthem-like tone to it. I think it's really strong. It's this kind of uplifting, very like standard message. I don't think you should read much into the actual message of the song, but it's just this kind of drive that the song really has, and along with the message of it, it just becomes really entertaining, I guess. I think this is a song that anyone can just kind of put on, and you kind of you get dragged into it, even if you want to or not. I know a lot of people don't, and a lot of people will just kind of roll their eyes whenever they see or hear this. But it's also that you just hear the first few notes, and you're like, if I allow myself, this is going to be my jam. And I've kind of reached that stage where I just enjoy it for what this song is and what they do on stage. I think they're professional as, like, I'm not going to curse, but I think they're really professionals on stage. They work great together. They sing very, very well. It's a nice performance. The presentation is great. Staging looks great. I love the greens, and I love the suits, of course. I always love the suits. I think the song is very memorable. The song has that drive to it. It's energetic, it's engaging, well produced as well. I mean, it's from 2011, and it sounds, maybe it doesn't sound 2022. It absolutely doesn't. But it's still, this very fresh production quality to it, and absolutely had back then. I think it's fantastic. Love it. Engelbert Humperdinck, I've always had a soft spot for this. It's a bit too slow, unfortunately, but I think the chorus is very charming. Like the way that it's written, I think melodically and chord-wise, there's a very pleasant chorus to listen to. Maybe not really too interesting on stage. The song moves a bit too slowly. The final chorus of the song is a bit underwhelming, I really think. Would have definitely required a greater orchestration to this song. But I think songwriting-wise, there's something in here that I actually really enjoy. So I think this is a solid one. Presentation isn't quite there, and I think instrumentation towards the latter parts of the song is definitely not there either. Could have also benefited from a bit more energy somewhere into the song, because it feels a bit draggy. But it is what it is, I guess. Solid still, I think. I can't really put it lower than that, no. Bonnie Tyler is, this is so unfortunate. I mean, when you just see on paper that Bonnie Tyler is participating in Eurovision, you get kind of excited, but then this performance is an absolute mess. The song is kind of uninteresting, just goes on for 3 minutes, doesn't really have anything interesting going on to it. There's no dynamics really in the instrumental. The vocal just lies on top of it, kind of loosely. Her vocal performance is a bit sluttery. Do you call it like that? Like she's... what do you call it? I don't think you call it sluddery. But it's a bit uneven, and it kind of just lies on top and doesn't really challenge anything. It doesn't really grasp my attention. It's just placeholder for me, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's Bonnie Tyler we see here. This is not for me. I think it's quite bad, actually, which pains me to say, but I don't get anything out of it. I think the performance is horrendous. She looks so out of place on that stage. No, don't like it. Don't like it at all. 2014, Children of the Universe. It's solid. Doesn't really interest me too much, in all honesty. The chorus is memorable to a point. I think especially like the certain section of the chorus where the backing vocals are really being incorporated as kind of the backdrop. It's a bit like anthem-esque in its presentation and in its songwriting. Unfortunately, it's a very underwhelming anthem for me. I don't really get that much out of it, and I think structure-wise, it's not really that strong either. The verses don't really speak to me. Solid performance, solid songwriting, solid arrangement, but nothing extraordinary for me. Something very extraordinary coming up here. Still in Love with You. What happened here? This is horrendous. It's this, we didn't really need the swing era to be back, and if we did, it should be like maybe something in the lines of electro swing can be nice. Could also be some swing music which actually kind of plays towards the strengths of swing music without just incorporating this awful digital beat that they've done here, because this song sounds awful. Like the production quality, it sounds like it could have been made in 1992 and sound bad all the way back then. Just the production quality. Then you also have the songwriting of it, which is not my thing at all. I think the lyrics are awful. The melody doesn't work. I hate these small inputs of people just shouting the words dance in the background and whatever else they're shouting. Don't like the presentation of it. The neon lights, especially on, I think her dress lights up in neon. It's so off-putting. And yeah, the structure is a massive mess. The cohesion of the song is completely non-existent, in all honesty. I'm getting frustrated just talking about it. We'll move on. 2016, You're Not Alone. It's fine. Way too uninteresting, but solid performance. Not really too much to say here. I think it's just very uninteresting and a very underwhelming song, which makes me actually put it down here. I don't think this is solid because the song isn't there. It has like an okay production to it. It sounds a bit fresh, but there's nothing in the songwriting that actually makes it interesting whatsoever. The melody is flat. The instrumental doesn't really have anything. It's like a glossy sound, but the chords are not there. I mean, they're very standard. The harmonies are not like, there's nothing to really just grasp and think like, oh, that's actually something in the song that I enjoyed. No, nothing. Yeah, no. Okay, we'll move on. Never Give Up on You, very pretty ballad, very, very beautifully staged. I think it's a bit underwhelming, maybe just a tad. It doesn't really have that actual drive that I really would have wanted it to do. I think the percussion is very static in this song. It's like too restrained. I get if you want to go minimalistic, but I think in the case that they actually want to present this song, I don't get the vibe that they want it to be minimalistic. I think they want to make it grander. And if I believe correctly, they did make it grander because they revamped this song, if I remember correctly. And before the revamp, it was incredibly minimalistic. There was nothing going on in the song. So at least they did improve it. I think they could have improved it more. But it's very, very, very well sung. Beautifully staged. Really great. Yeah, that's fair. Storms don't last forever, and neither does my attention span for this song. It's fine. But at the same time, it's the same as 2016. It's so uninteresting. I hate the little sound effects that they added in the revamp, which just sounds like something wobbling in the background. It's really off-putting. And the song didn't really require that. The song required a different hook with a melody that actually is something to write home about. There's no real intervals here in the melody or rhythmic inputs that are actually memorable, I think. It's quite a restrained backdrop as well to the song. The instrumental isn't anything noteworthy. I think there's a lack of dynamics in it. Could have definitely benefited from more interesting percussion as well. Like the drum beat is very stale, one note. There's nothing here. There's nothing, no playfulness. And I think that's kind of the problem here. There's the more I think about it, the more like the songs that I don't like here, they're not playful. And even the songs that I like are a bit like lacking in that area. That's actually the case. Like you have 2018, 2016, 2014, 2017, 2013. They're not playful songs. 2015 is too playful, and in all the bad ways. But yeah, the creativity has just been left unseen. Yeah, make an effort. Come on. We'll get there. 2019, Bigger Than Us. It's the same issue again. I do think this performance is quite great. I think his vocals are solid. I think it's well staged in a way. But at the same time, I mean, it's an uninteresting song. It doesn't do anything special. I think it's pleasant enough, though. I don't really have a good reason for me wanting to put this higher than Storm or You're Not Alone, but I get more enjoyment out of this one for whatever reason. Maybe the melody speaks to me a bit more in this one. I think the melody has something in it. So solid. And I also think the performance is actually quite strong in this one. It's decent. Yeah. My Last Breath actually has a little bit of playfulness within the rhythms in the chorus. It's just that I don't like the chorus. I think production quality, firstly, is quite poor on this one, unfortunately. Vocal-wise, it's okay. Melodically, not my thing. No. Verses are kind of like, I like the guitar-driven tone that they're going for, but the verses don't really interest me. And then the chorus feels kind of, we call it like dragged out. It doesn't really have that flow or drive to the flow. So no, it's an I like it, but this one. But that's still higher than what I'm gonna give Embers, because I don't like Embers. I don't really even need to talk about the staging, because all of you think that the staging is probably quite poor, and I agree on that. But I think the song is the issue here. Like this trumpet hook, I guess it could be considered catchy, but it's about 5 years too late, minimum, maybe even 10 years too late. It's quite a tiring hook. It doesn't really interest me even, like, it's even less interesting because of how the hook is so minimalistic on top of this beat. The beat is so constant, like it's the same approach constantly throughout the song. The drumming, or like the percussive arrangement, is incredibly lackluster. And then all they've done for really the chorus to work is just throw a one-note trumpet hook on top of it, which doesn't really have enough energy in it either. It feels it sounds like a very tired, upbeat song. The song wants to be really upbeat, like party-inspired, just have a good time, that kind of mood to it. But it sounds so tired, which just kind of kills it. The verses are just no. Don't like this plucky sound design that they're going for in the backdrop of the verses. The percussion, again, very stale, not uninteresting, very like lifeless in a sense. And then the vocal is very, what do you call it? Like, it's like a staccato approach that they've gone for. It's like short words that are just trying to create like a rhythm. But since there's short words trying to create a rhythm, that's a very minimalistic approach to take. There's no flow into the vocals either in the verses. So what do you have? There's no flow in anything in the verses. It's a pluck that's slow. It's a tired vocal, and the percussion is barely there. What do you have? You have nothing. It's a tired songwriting process, and no, not for me. If some people get enjoyment out of the song, that's awesome, because it's still an upbeat song. I get that there's enjoyment in that, and it sounds a bit fresh with the whole trumpet hook. It sounds a bit EDM-ish, but no, I think it sounds tired. I don't like it. No. I like Spaceman. That's a good song. That's a very well-written song. Love the chords, love the progression of the song. The structure is amazing. Vocal performance is amazing. Staging is amazing. It's among the greatest. I've been talking for over 30 minutes, and I love Spaceman. That's all I'm gonna say. Among the greatest. Fantastic performance. Love the way that this song is written. The melody is fantastic. It's so playful as well. Like, it's so creatively put together. They've had fun writing this song, and you can hear it. And that's the complete opposite of like the 10 songs that United Kingdom sent before it. If you exclude I'm Still in Love with You, which is just bad. But yeah, this is my tier list for United Kingdom. If you want more extensive thoughts about Spaceman, I have a review on my channel. You can watch that. I've talked enough now. I've talked for 34 minutes today, and I've talked for so many hours going through this series. But it's been a lot of fun, and I hope you've at least got some enjoyment out of it at some point. If you haven't, that's a shame, but thanks for sticking around anyway. We'll see whatever I post on my channel next. I guess I'll try and cover Eurovision next year again. So hope to see you around whenever I start posting again. It's been a pleasure. Take care of yourselves. Bye.